Hello everyone and welcome to... Wow, that took too long. Jak and Daxter. And the Precursor Legacy. As I said, I was going to handle it, or take on this Let's Play, and though I will admit this is actually a little later than I wanted to do it, because the first couple times I record commentary, it was rather lame. So I decided, no, we're going to actually do it right. I mean, I might as well do a good job instead of just basically playing the game going, the entire time. And my chair decides to stop moving again. Thank you, chair. There will be a couple differences. I'm not likely going to record, break these up into parts as much as I would normally. They'll basically just be, I'm going to play until I feel like quitting. Which will probably be one area at a time. So it may be 2 episodes, and maybe several videos. We'll see. Whatever the case, they will be, they'll still be in 15-minute, increments at the most, though, so don't worry about that. We're going to go ahead and make a new game, and as you can see, I got quite far in the first 2 sessions I did. And it only took me about 2 hours, really. 13:17. That's weird. And I got over 50%. It's really not hard to get very far in this game, so, yeah, go. Come on. So, that's for that.
I have spent my life searching for the answers that my father and my father's fathers failed to find. Who were the precursors? Why did they create the vast monoliths that litter our planet? How did they harness eco, the life energy of the world? What was their purpose? And why did they vanish? I have asked the plants, but they do not remember. The plants have asked the rocks, but the rocks do not recall. Even the rocks do not recall. Every bone in my body tells me that the answers rest on the shoulders of a young boy. Oblivious to his destiny, uninterested in the search for truth, and rejecting of my guidance. And why would he want to listen to old Samus the Sage anyway? I'm only the master of green eco, one of the wisest men on the planet. So it seems the answer begins not with careful research or sensible thinking. Nay, as with many of fate's mysteries, it begins with but a small act of disobedience.
Hey! Jak, old green stuff told us not to come here.
This won't end badly, will it? Well, that's an entrance.
Continue your search for artifacts and eco. If the locals possess precursor items, you know what to do.
You okay there, buddy?
Deal harshly with anybody who strays from the village. We will attack it in due time.
Okay.
What are we doing here anyway, Jak? This place gives me the creeps.
You may notice that Jak here does not talk. Kind of obvious he's going to be our protagonist now, isn't it?
Stupid precursor junk. Eek! What is that dark ooze? It sure don't look friendly. The sage yaps on about the precursors that built this place all the time. Where did they go? Why did they build this crud? Now, I like precursor orbs and power cells as much as the next guy. But if you ask me, they must have been real losers. Wow! How did you do that? I think we're in trouble!
Here comes the most brilliant idea you should ever do with an magical object. Throw it widely at something.
Man, that stung! I told you we shouldn't have come here, and you listened! What? I'm fine. I'm fine.
In his defense, you'd probably act the same way.
What in green tarnation do you two want?
I was...
Don't tell me. Instead of heeding my wisdom, the two of you went mucking around in the only place that I told you not to go. Misty Island.
That's right, and then...
And, Daxter, you finally took a much-needed bath, but in a bathtub filled with dark eco.
Look, old man, are you gonna keep yapping, or are you gonna help me out of this mess?
I'm gonna keep yapping, because in my professional opinion, the change is an improvement. And besides, I couldn't help you if I wanted to.
What?
There's only one person who has studied Dark Eco long enough to have a chance at returning you to your previous form. Carl Acheron, the Sage. But he lives far to the north. Far, far to the north. Nobody has spoken to him in ages. I would teleport you there, but I can't do that either. None of the three sages that maintain the other teleporter gates have seen fit to turn their ends on for quite a while.
Wasn't that convenient?
The only other way north is by foot through the Fire Canyon, but its volcanic soil is hot enough to melt precursor metal. You can't just walk through it.
But you could fly over it if you had a zoomer equipped with a heat shield. I just happen to be working on such a thing at this very moment. All I would need is 20 power cells to give it enough energy to withstand the canyon's heat. Isn't that right, Daddy?
Yes, Kira, that might work. But where are a boy and a half going to get 20 power cells?
From the villagers. Most of them have a power cell or two stashed away somewhere. And even if they aren't willing to just give them away, greasing their palms with a few precursor orbs should do the trick. And I bet there are even more of them out in the wilds just waiting for some brave adventurer to find.
Well, we've got the brave adventurer at least.
Brave adventurer? You two couldn't find your way out of the village without training. Before you do anything else, you better go through the warp gate and get some practice on Geyser Rock.
We won't find any more of that dark gooey eco stuff, will we? Cause I'd hate to fall in again and turn into you.
Get in there before I turn you both into ferns.
Ferns. That would suck. Really. Though, you know, if I was being turned into a plant, I'd like it to be a fern. Actually, I'd rather be a rose bush, but, you know, that's different. Now we can actually do some stuff.
This device is a communicator. With it, my father and I can give you advice at any time during your quest.
Alright. They're gonna cut me off over and over and over again, so, I'll be losing my train of thought pretty quickly here. Obviously, we are now playing the damn game, finally. I'll probably end up explaining things before they explain it, or after they explain it, or whatever. So we'll see what the hell I'm doing. I'm going to take a little time here on this beach area because I want to make sure I get everything. See, when you hit the start button, you're shown how many power cells are in an area, which we'll cover what those are in a minute. And then if you press X, as indicated on the top right, you check how many precursor orbs. There are 2,000 in the entire game that I know of. And there are 50 of them in this area. As you can see, it's going to take a long time to get all of those. Let's see, and then there are these little bug things. We'll talk about that later. As for now, they're going to stop me, and yeah.
These floating egg-shaped things are precursor orbs. Collect enough of them, and some of the villagers will give you a power cell in exchange.
Now, one thing I have to say that has really confused me about this game is how nonchalant everyone is about what the hell happened to Daxter. It's like, oh, you're weird,
This is a power cell, the most important precursor artifact you can find. You need to collect 20 of these so I can power the heat shield for your A-Grav zoomer.
Yeah, most important. That's why people are willing to part for them for relatively cheap. Oh, saving load, saying. Get used to these scenes. They're gonna happen a lot. About 100 times, in fact. Yeah, okay, got it. As I was saying.
Hey, you found one of my scout flies.
I should just
I
not
sent 7
talk.
of them to each area to look for power cells, but the lurkers must have captured them all.
That does not explain something I'll point out later. Alright. I didn't let them explain something about these boxes. You can't normally hurt them with your normal attack.
Things with a greater force. To break one of these boxes, you should jump in the air and then dive down onto it.
There.
Hands
Got it.
first.
Now I don't have to listen to you anymore. Alright, as I was trying to say 100,000 times ago, something that always kind of bugs me is how no one really seems to notice or really care that Daxter is not human. He's a talking freaking Otzel, which is some sort of otter weasel thing.
Wow!
I don't know.
That last scout fly had a power cell. I'll bet if you collect all 7 in each area, you can find even more power cells.
That's Blue Eco.
I want to
Contains
finish the
the
game.
energy of motion. Blue
Motion.
Eco allows you to run fast, break boxes, and even activate some precursor artifacts when you get near them.
Yeah, the Blue Eco is going to be a very, very influential part of this game. I'll explain more. Well, actually, they'll probably explain it for me in a few minutes, so I don't have to. For now, we'll just demonstrate a little bit of it. As you can see, it kind of pulls things together, and it will break breakable boxes instantaneously. There's only one box that I can currently recall that it does not break, and that is a full metal box. The metal rim boxes that the...
Each Blue Eco cluster you pick up increases the time you can use its power.
Yeah, I got it. Kind of demonstrated that already, Samus. Thank you very much. Slow. Alright, let's get this. See if I can do this in one run. La 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 la. I forgot everything that I was trying to say. Oh yeah. Blue Eco, it will break any kind of box except for full metal ones. Those ones that those scout flies were in, it will they will break it.
It
will
is a
break it.
precursor door. It can only be opened by approaching the door while channeling Blue Eco through your body.
Again, Blue Eco is going to be the most important thing you ever encounter in this game. Ha!
Blue Eco Vent. More concentrated than the floating clusters. This vent will give you a full charge of Blue Eco, letting you use it for the maximum time.
Okay, got it. Shut up. I lost my train of thought again. Blue Eco is going to be obscenely important. It's how you get through most of the freaking puzzles in this game. I'm not kidding.
Good work. The Blue Eco caused the door to open. With Blue Eco, you can breathe energy into all kinds of precursor artifacts that have lain dormant for years.
Whoa. Alright, after they explain another thing in a second.
Those little green balls of energy on the ground are a type of eco. Pick up 50 small green ecos or one big green one to increase your health.
Yep. As you probably noticed, when I picked them up, a little bar on the top left normally shows up if you don't have full. And you add to that. As you can see, I have 3 hits up there on the top left and 50 reserve, technically. The meter on right to the right of the health icon there, actually, it's how much more you need for another one. But because I have 50 ready for another one, it wants to give me more health, but it can't because I currently have full. That's actually a way you get 4 hits instead of 3.
Then jump again in the air to reach even higher ledges.
Alright, hey, I got all the precursor orbs. Now, after I get to here, and they talk to me, I'll explain a lot of the controls and how you can move around in this game. Oh, they didn't talk to me. That's weird.